manifested it all. So we thank the Creator for His blessing, and also for besties in business. Yo, sit back, relax, and let yourself go with simply Naima and alter ego. These are trying times, so relax your mind. If you need some help, then drop us a line. We create a space where we can have good conversation, family, culture, business, race relations, giving birth to kings and queens. Manifesting wealth and things. 2020 came and tried to give us mad action with no satisfaction, and now we all distracted, but still gotta hold our own, doing big boss shit, rockin' Nina Simone, a superstar in this compilation. Came to this universe to give you niggas motivation, but you still sleep, you niggas always on a vacation. But he's a creep, and that's the real life translation. You feel me?
We've all heard it before. Black don't crack. But what it can do is look ashy and dull and just as horrible and wretched. But not with Go Beautiful. Shop today. GoBeautiful.com. That's Go Beautiful with 2 L's.com, with luxurious vegan skincare. No sulfates, no parabens, no carcinogens, and eco-friendly. Get beautiful, honey.
Thank you for tuning in to Betsy's Building Brands podcast. If you're interested in being a guest or having your business advertised on our podcast, please send an email to podcastmanager@bestiesinbiz.com. After the show, don't forget to head over to Facebook and Instagram to subscribe to our page, Besties Building Brands.
Welcome to another episode of Besties Building Brands podcast. Today it's just the three of us, and we're going to be talking about something that's super important for businesses, especially women-owned businesses. So we have myself, Alter Ego. We have Crystal, the connector and CEO of Go Beautiful, and we have Rajay, the CEO and owner of Complicated Styles. So today we're going to be talking about just crowdfunding and just raising money and capital for women-owned businesses. There's so much money out there, but we aren't even getting a full 5% of the money that's out there that's available to us. So we're just going to get into a little bit and talk about it. Crystal gave us a good analogy about just a scenario about how these two guys are crowdfunding to build the app. Crystal, you want to just tell everybody about that, and we can start talking about that?
Yeah, of course. So when I was on the webinar, I Fund Women of Color, it's ifundwomen.com. And there's a huge platform where women can go and apply for grants. They have tons of grants that's available. And the good thing about those grants are that they are every month. You can apply as often, as much as you want for the grants. And in the webinar, it was talked about women don't get a piece of the pie, and the pie is pretty big. One of the numbers they went over was last year that there were over $29 billion given away in grants, and out of the $29 billion, 1% were given to women, and out of that 1%, only 0.6% was given to women of color, and that's huge. That's huge. For $29 billion to be out there to just get less than 0.5% of that for your business. So what was talked about also was that a lot of times that Black businesses who are, let's just face it, that women are the leading forefront, and also women of color leading forefront when it comes to business and being entrepreneurs, that a lot of the financial disparities is because they don't get the funding. So we are charging on our credit cards, going into debt because the money isn't available to us. And some of it is lack of knowledge, that they don't know where to go. It isn't given to them. And then two, when they do apply for it, they're not approved for it because of, however the business is structured. They talked about the crowdfunding. That was a perfect example of how these two men, white men, let me just say men not of color, dropped out of college to work on an app, to build an app. And the app was for millennials to be able to do something. I can't remember. I think it was to invest or whatever. But they crowdfunded and raised over I want to say $3 million crowdfunding.
Mm.
And when we talk about crowdfunding, I don't know about y'all, but I heard about it, but never thought much about it, never knew anything to do. Crowdfunding, okay, is that just a fancy word for fundraising?
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much it is fundraising. You have a goal, you have a product or whatever it is, and people donate. With crowdfunding, you get your friends, family, friends, neighbors, people that you know to give you money for your business. So they had people giving them money for this grant, and of course, and they've been working on it, and then they've been working on this grant for 4 years. I mean, they were crowdsourcing and working on this app for 4 years. So over the 4 years, they've gotten over $3 million in crowdfunding for their app. And I
So
don't
why
think
do you think they're able to do things like that? Like, I mean, because I'm sure that there are a lot of GoFundMe's out there where people are able to raise money, but I know personally, we know from the fundraisers that we're trying to do, we can't even raise $500 from our circle. A lot of the money that we use, even like for our laptop giveaway that we'll be having pretty soon. So I hope the guests are on. We have to really come out of our own pocket for a lot of these things. Yet you have these two gentlemen saying, hey, I want to build an app for millennials to invest, when there are already plenty of investment apps out there. There are already people that are out there teaching the game, and they've been able to raise $3 million. What do you think, in you guys' opinion, the reason is for that? Like, why aren't we able to do the same thing?
I think the one thing is that we don't use the word crowdfunding.
Mm-hmm.
So for a word that we don't use, we don't know the definition of, and so then we're not actively pursuing it. Like, we know how to bootstrap and fundraise. Somebody bakes some cake, there's a cookie. We know cookie sale, we know bake sale, and that is your traditional fundraising. Crowdfunding, for me, is like the upper echelon. That's the bougie of fundraising, of the fundraising world, and not fundraising how we're doing it. So I think that because we don't use the word and we don't know the definition of the word and how to do it, why it's not. And another part to that is no one is teaching us how.
Marjay?
I think she hit it on the head with that last. No one's teaching us how. I think the people that are doing this crowdfunding, the people before them have been doing such things that may not have been called crowdfunding. So I feel like it's something they're learning from someone before them, and someone gave them the information on the game. It's hard to find somebody. People aren't. I don't know if they want to charge so much for the information, or they don't want to share what the wealth. And I mean, for me, I look at it. Everyone can get a piece. There's no reason for us to fight for it. But the crowdfunding, for me, I heard about it, but I heard that it was more for tech, and it was more for businesses that it's kind of like Shark Tank, where you're already in there, you have money, you just need type of investor type of thing. So I didn't know crowdfunding was pretty much a GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I mean, I wouldn't want to go on crowdfunding for my type of business. I just feel like, if y'all aren't going to give me the money with me promoting it, what's the difference between you giving me the money going through a third-party system? Like, to me, that doesn't make sense.
Crowdfunding isn't GoFundMe. Crowdfunding is them giving you money for your business, period. They're not expecting a T-shirt. They're not expecting any product from it. Crowdfunding is them giving you money for your business. So for your business to be successful, for whatever you need, whatever you're needing it for your business. That's not crowdfunding. Is not GoFundMe, and it's not. They do now. Don't get me wrong. They do have apps now and platforms specifically for crowdfunding. They do, but crowdfunding isn't GoFundMe.
But it's like it's just where people can go and donate. Like, I have this product, or I have this app or whatever, and give me money so I can build it.
Yeah, it comes from strangers, so it's just basically similar. It's similar to a GoFundMe. Usually GoFundMe you see are for like personal things. Somebody is going through a hard time or something like that. And then crowdfunding itself isn't necessarily like an app itself. It's just a way to raise money for your business. But they do have apps that you can use for that. So yes, but crowdfunding comes from strangers was the question. Yes, it comes from strangers, people who just hear what you're doing and they send money to you so that you can do it. Now you don't have to go through anything official. You can crowdfund, like Crystal was saying, through your family, through your friends. You can go to, 10 of your friends, your neighbors. Hey, I'm trying to build X, Y, and Z, and they give you money for it just because.
But see, my thing is with my business, I get crowdfunding if like the other parts I want to start a business center, so I need to buy a laptop. So I get it using for that. But like for me, it irks my nerves that I would sit here and ask you for money to help build, but I'm not. I have a whole clothing line, and I'm asking you to buy a T-shirt. So if you're not going to buy a T-shirt for me, and this is my circle, why am I going to ask you to crowdfund for me?
But this is what Crystal, we were talking about, the fact that women feel funny asking for money. When there's billions of dollars out there waiting for us, but we feel funny about asking for money. We literally just talked about this, and we should.
Right.
Is there?
And that was one of the guests on the show with I Fund Women of Color. She said that one of the things was that, and I follow her on Instagram too. As a matter of fact, she's here in Philly. One of the things she said is that women feel funny asking for money. Women feel unvalued, unworthy, in that what they have is not enough. That's why they don't ask for money. And it came a long way from, like, especially when you're asking a man for money. And then we all know when you're asking a man for money, it's going to come with, a coochie coupon that they're expecting. Or they say, why are you doing this? You need to be in the house raising kids, not doing this. And she said that for there are a very small percentage of women who are out here crowdfunding, who are out here asking for money and not taking no for an answer, just like a man. And they gave the analogy of, the example of The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith, the movie, how he didn't take no for an answer. He dragged his kid along, and he was trying, when he was a salesman, he was selling. They said no, he came back again. Well, how about today? Where it was a woman, you said no once, and then she's back home, not even pursuing it, or now she is beating her down. And to get back to you, Rajay, why would you want them to donate to you, and it's them giving you money so your business can be successful without them having to buy a T-shirt? Now, see, that's you putting your worth and your value on it. Well, if they gave me this money, I need to give them something. Where crowdfunding isn't like that. They giving you money so you can build your store, so you can build your brand, so you can build your business. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't have to be tech. Doesn't have to be an app. It's your business.
See, and I would have never looked at it like that, because I'm going back to, I want to give you something. I want you to buy this so that I can produce it, and that's my way of getting my money for my business. So that's why I never looked towards crowdfunding. But knowing that I can go in there and say, hey, I want to build a warehouse or whatever, and I need this amount of money for crowdfunding, and that is, turning it around, I have rent I got to pay for my store. So yes, I would definitely go on crowdfunding for that. I need to pay the rest of this rent down. It's $1,900.
Somebody posted, but folks put Cash App up for their birthdays. Yeah, if the money is there, like, you can save your inventory and get the money to either buy more inventory. You can use it for marketing, advertising. Those guys were using it so that they can live, so that they can leave their job and build the app. So, I just think, what we talk about a lot on our show is that within our community, it's kind of hard to do certain things that are easier done in other communities. But when you think about it, a lot of that too comes from our mindset and how we think about things and how we look at things, because it is out there. But we also know that we are always at a disadvantage being women, and then being Black women, that you may not even get approved, whereas, somebody else would. I was telling Crystal about Chris Rock when he did the stand-up, which I always talk about because it was so true. He was saying that he was a good, I'm a very good comedian. I do all right for myself. He was like, and where I live, Jay-Z and Beyonce live there too. He was like, and do you know what my neighbor does? My neighbor is a dentist, not a celebrity dentist. He was like a regular fucking dentist. Like, that's it. And he's able to live in the same community as them. Just basically saying that we have to do jumps and backflips to get to where somebody else could just skip and get there. And it's the same with this. The money is available. Why are we not even getting 1% of the money that's out there? It's because of our own self-limiting beliefs. And then two, we're being pushed out. We're being pushed out, and we always have to do it ourselves and do it from the muscle. And then we're women, so we feel like we have to be super women and figure it out ourselves. No, I want you to buy my shirt. I don't want you to just give me the money. We have to change our mindsets. And if the money is there, well, look, we want the money too. We deserve it. And we need to start educating ourselves on what's out there, so that we can sustain our businesses, because a lot of our businesses are going under because we don't have the proper funding, we don't have the proper training, and it's really
and paperwork. A lot of the not a lot, a couple of women had inboxed me because for the SBA loans, the PPP for their business, and one of them got one woman had got denied, and she was so confused why she got denied. And I said, you really have to, I know when people have a problem with reading. I don't have a problem with reading. I read the fine print before I read the big print. I'm the person that goes to the back of the book first, and then I'll start reading the book. That's just me. I said, you have to read everything they send you. And one of the things was they could not identify her bank. All she had to do was send them the bank paper. People see that big denied and was like, oh, I got denied. Oh, well, without reading it. Whereas we know the uncolored people of the world be like, no, okay, so why didn't you give me the money? Why wasn't I approved when I have all of my stuff here? And that's another thing that we of color do not have all of our paperwork together when it comes to, especially going to the banks for loans, especially when we have our business. All of your business paperwork needs to be together. Not, okay, I did it and then that's it. Because when you're the monies that are out there, and to include when I'm applying for all these grants, some of them need a video, some of them want a testimonial, some of them want all of your information, and if you don't have it, it's easily obtainable. But some people see that as a block. Oh, I don't have all the paperwork, so I'm not going to apply. Apply anyway, or look for grants. And that's another thing. They don't look for grants that are just for them, where it doesn't require all that paperwork, where it just requires your name, your business, and what do, and you send it in. And everyone goes after the big pie of money. They want the $1 million grants. They want the $20,000, $30,000 grants. But a lot of those big grants come with stipulations, meaning that the money needs to be used for a certain thing. Money needs to be used, allocated this way, and you have to send them proof of how you're using that money. What I tell people when you're applying for grants, apply for the smaller ones. Them $500 grants build up to $10,000. And you can apply for the smaller grants as many times as you want to with any other organization and with any other company that has the grants out there, just with your paperwork, just with you just with your EIN, just with your name, your EIN, and you can apply for the smaller ones. And those right there are way easier to get, because a lot of those grants people don't apply for because they just think, oh, it's $500. Why am I gonna do it $500? I know what I would do with $500 unrestrictedly. When you get approved for a grant that has no restrictions on it, you can use that money to pay your bill. You can use that money to pay your cell phone bill, fix your car, because those are things that you need to help you in business and be successful. And that's another thing, that we just need to have our paperwork and all of our everything legit and looking good when it goes in front of the grant committee, the banks, or whatever.
And we just have to take our time to educate ourselves, like you said, on what's out there. Make sure we're reading the fine print, because it's already, we're already, like I said, we're already behind the 8 ball. Like we were talking about the basketball players, like the women's league and the men's league, like how the wealth gap there is huge. And it's just because, and that doesn't even have anything to do with race. We're just talking about the fact that you're a woman and he's a man, so therefore he's going to get millions and you're going to get thousands.
Right.
And so we have to do our due diligence to make sure that all these new businesses, I read an article saying that Black women have been starting businesses at a higher rate, but a lot of those businesses aren't sustainable. A lot of those businesses aren't lasting. And we already know that starting a businesses don't make it past the first 5 years anyway. So on top of that, statistic, the fact that you're Black and you're a woman, you're already, trying to play catch up. So it's just crazy. But we're going to take a pause for a minute so we can do our drawing. I hope everybody is on.
I'm gonna take a chip break. They better be on. Who's on? And y'all, if y'all on, say hey. Say hey, girl. Hey.
All right. Can y'all see the wheel?
My name's not on there.
Huh?
I said my name's not on there.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. Y'all ain't getting this laptop. I am here and viewing.
All right. So we only doing one drawing, one time. All right. Let's see. Who's watching? How many people do we have watching? We are giving away a laptop, y'all.
Is it enough?
If
y'all didn't come for a laptop, y'all aren't in business.
Right.
Like,
all right. Ready? When the name comes up, we're going to clap and scream. There's only 3 people watching, and I'm sure one of them is my mom.
I know. Your mom is a Facebook user.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
You get this laptop, you can apply for grants all day. Put it on speed dial. I know how it is. Amina!
Oh. Amina!
I don't think she's watching.
I was about to go find Amina and jack that laptop.
Let's see. No.
Amina, are you watching? Amina, are you watching?
Nope, she's not watching.
Amina.
All right, we're going to do one more. You ready?
I'm ready.
Yes.
Y'all about to see me with my new laptop.
Yeah, excuse me. I'm eating hot chips and chocolate. Oh. Janaea!
Are you watching?
Are you there, Janaea?
Come on, you got 2 seconds.
And this is why we missed out on money. We missed out on grants. We missed out on free business stuff. Like this is why we got to be there. We got to be in. Amina and what was I can't remember the name.
Janaea.
Janaea.
Did she say she wanted a laptop? It's a diva. She says she want. Did she put her name on that thing?
Mm-hmm. Just now.
Did you pay your $1?
It's double now.
Huh?
So we doubling it now.
All right, well, I added her on there, but we're going to do one more. Let's see. All right, I guess she's not here. Let's go.
Oh, sound effects too? Okay.
Rajay.
Almost. See, y'all almost got took.
It's a
I'm here.
We got you, Rod. Don't worry about it. We're going to get you.
It's a diva.
Ooh, I like that name. It's a diva.
We're going to take care of you.
I was in it to win it. I can't believe it's on the laptop.
We got you. You're our manager. We're gonna hook you up. We're gonna make sure you good. I gotta check to see if she paid her $1 first. If she didn't pay the $1, then we gonna have to spend again. I can't check right now. If she didn't pay the $1, if you didn't pay, we're gonna have to spend again.
Spend it.
You gotta find a link. I ain't gonna tell you where it's at. You gotta figure it out. Okay, so yes, I fund women, I fund Black women. Let's just talk about some grants that you know about. Let's give them a couple of grants that they can go look to apply for it.
Okay. You can't right now. You can't. You want me to give them the website?
You don't have to. You could just say the name. They can do their due diligence and search it up and Google it.
Okay, one of the grants right now. What day is it? I'm thinking of the day. Okay. Comcast Rise. Comcast Rise is a grant you can apply for. Even if you do not win the monetary grant, they do have tech support. So if you need help with your business, your tech side of your business, website, social media, bandwidth, Comcast is all about that. That type of communication. There's Comcast Rise. There is the NAV grant that is still going on, and that is nav.com, NAV.com. Visa has a $10,000 grant for women, just for women, because it's still women. It's our month, girls. It is our month still March, Women's History Month. Visa has a $10,000 grant that you can apply for. And My Founder's Story, and that's the name of it, myfounderstory.com, which is really great because they want you to tell a story about your business. This is just for women. They want you to tell this. So when you're applying for the grant, they want you to tell the story about your business. So they're one of the ones who want a video, just you talking, and not a huge video, just you talking about your business, and as well as the paperwork. So those are a couple of grants that you can apply for. And the best thing about My Founder Story grants is that they are monthly.
Okay.
So if you don't you'll get notified. And these grants that you apply for, you'll get notified by email. Hey, you're one. Hey, you're in the top running. Your top running or whatever. They'll notify you by email. If you don't get notified by email, with My Founder Story, by the end of the month, you can apply again the next month.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. All right. So let me see. Before we wrap up, I'm just trying to see if we're going to spin the wheel again. We can also talk a little bit about what you were telling me about the NBA. I think you said LeBron makes what, $3 million?
34, honey.
Excuse me. 30?
Yeah, my friend Angel posted in the on her page about the disparities with how women are treated as far as the wage gap. Here's the WNBA, the NBA. Both players, WNBA women player, NBA male players. LeBron James, the woman, I really couldn't tell you who she is. I don't follow the WNBA. I don't even follow basketball like that. I just know LeBron James from that. But they have the same amount of accomplishments, same amount of championship rings, played for the same sports team, same amount of years. But his annual salary is $34 million. Her annual salary, $225,000, and she's white.
That is ridiculous.
So look at that. Isn't it ridiculous?
That's ridiculous.
So women's basketball doesn't bring in money, or no one's watching it. I had a friend who said that their strength is more than women, so there's no way that they could compete. But it doesn't sound like it in basketball.
I mean, I think that's just the ignorance level of it when it comes to male and female. Like that's just the male chauvinist coming out, and it's just their thinking and their way of thinking, and they don't get paid to think that way. And it has nothing to do with. It has everything to do. It has nothing to do with people not watching. It just has everything to do with the WNBA is owned by the NBA.
It is.
Yeah, the NBA. It's the NBA. They just have the women and the men.
They're two separate entities.
And people watch women's basketball, I think.
Right, they watch women basketball. They're women basketball teams.
Well,
it's just here are the. I mean, it's the same thing in a workplace where here you have a male and a female who are doing the exact same job, but the male is getting paid more.
Mm-hmm. The women, they make more overseas.
They do make more overseas. And that has a lot to do with overseas. I've lived overseas. I lived in international waters. That the culture is very different. The structure is very different. They don't have this structure here in the USA. They don't have tax returns. They don't. There's a lot of things that they don't do over there that is done over here. And they pay their teachers like they pay their doctors because they're all government employees over there. And I had another thing about when we're looking at the looking at how we are pricing ourselves, looking at how we are handling business, and a lot of even when I went to college and I graduated, my major is in business administration. There weren't a lot of women of color. I mean, girls in school, period, but there weren't a lot there. And when we're talking about business, a lot of us do not take advantage. And I think it's because the color. Like, I'm not going to the non-color person for this information because they're either going to jack me or they ain't going to tell me how to run my business. When a lot of the free information, a lot of the non-colored people are going to these places for the free information. They're going to the SBA, the Small Business Association. They're getting mentors. They're getting the free mentorship. They're going to the bank and they're asking the bank questions like, hey, how can I get approved for this loan? We're just going in, we're just applying for the loan. And if we don't get approved, we just leave. Mm-hmm. Whereas they're saying to ask, can I speak to the bank manager? Because I want to know why I didn't get this loan. What can I do to get this loan? And I think
they're able to do that. They're able to do that. I don't even think we would even be able to speak to the bank manager if we could. Like, I just think that
I said bank manager as as a reference to the Karens when they always want to speak to the manager. But we do have black banks, and a lot of us aren't banking with black banks.
The one that we have. I don't know. I just always think that even with that, it's still always more work that has to be done than any other group. And I think because of that, we get discouraged. I think this is E who said yes, unless Sydney's talking about the basketball. And then Michelle Horton said misogyny. And it's it's everywhere you go, though. Like, I think it's like I said, it's always harder. It's always more steps. There was a picture that they had going around where it was I think it was like a white guy and a black girl, and they were like running a obstacle course, and the guy's was a straight shot, and hers had like all kinds of things, like snails and alligators and all kinds of stuff. It's always so much, so you get burnt out, you get tired, you don't feel like it. You know what I mean? You don't feel like going through the hassle of filling out all this application just to be denied. Now I'm trying to get another meeting at the bank, or I'm trying to find out why I got denied. Well, my friend, who just happens to not be black, did it, and she got, she got approved. Miss Michelle said, advocate and push past the no. Yeah, advocate and push past the no. Like, you have to keep going and be determined and be resilient, but it's not that many people. That's why it's not a lot of us doing it, because only a small percentage of us is going to actually not only push, but believe that they can even do that. Sometimes you don't even think that you can. You don't think you have the ability to say, hey, why didn't you approve?
But isn't that where it comes in, where the people who have pushed past their nose, they're not coming back to help us push back? Like, I'm not saying that's what you're supposed to do, but like, for me, I feel like once I've got past my hurdles, I want to go back and tell the world, this is how you do it. Like, I don't want to hide it.
Absolutely are supposed to do that.
But I don't feel people, and that's how I feel, but there's people not coming back and telling us that part. Like, there's people still pushing past and just forgetting about the people behind, like all the hoods and stuff. And like, why can't we feel safe in our neighborhoods? Like, why can't our kids go out and play at night and everything? Like, people are not coming back to clean those hoods up. They're leaving and going.
I don't think I can. Like, yeah, like people don't even think that they can. They hear no and they think that that's it.
But why?
I think this interesting time that we were in this past year with the quarantine has broken down a lot of barriers where we are at the table now, and the information is now being shared. One, because everyone was in quarantine, locked down, and they needed something to do. And there was only a few select people who were out there, who could be out there doing it. And the information is being shared. We just have to plug in and get key to and to these people. And they are more open. They are sharing the information because now they have no choice, because now the light has been shown and people are sharing the information how to get business credit. They're sharing the information how to get things off of your credit report so that you can get qualified for a home. They
Well, they
are,
are, but it's not getting back to people who like. I didn't like if I wouldn't have found Becky's Building Business, I wouldn't have found this information. And I honestly, I think I was in a group and I just kept looking and looking and looking. Like I had to do hard search. I've been in business for I think 4 or 5 years. Like this information I could have used 4 or 5 years ago, and it took me that long. But I have people who just started business yesterday, and they have all this information, and it's like I'm still learning.
But it's really about doing, like, just forget besties, forget iFund Women and all that for a minute. We had a webinar because we like we always say, we're not just a Facebook group. Like we started out in the community. So we have partners at Temple. We met people from the SBA. We had them come on and do a show. This was early on.
Yeah.
All that information is free. Business credit. If you have an online business, if you have a brick and mortar business, if you want to get a mentor who's already done it. And this isn't about black or white. These people have done it. It's all free. And it's there. I know people who've gone through the classes. They have full-blown business classes, and it's there. And
it's there, but people aren't sharing where it's at. Like they're saying, "Oh, well, here's your apple." But I'm not gonna tell you how to skin an apple to make an apple pie. You figure that out. But here's your apple. That's all they're doing. They're not saying, "Okay, well, here's your apples. Here's your recipe. Let me break it down." It's like, let me know. Hey, this is a webinar that I saw at www, and it told me this information. Go check it out, and it's gonna help you do this. This is where I got my mentor. No, people are just going saying, start a business, get a mentor, do your taxes, bye.
Well, maybe.
What do you mean?
Maybe for you, because I know I see people who do free webinars who give it all away though. Some people do free webinars and they kind of fake giveaway information. But I've seen webinars where they've given information where you can get off their webinar and go make it happen. You may have to do a little Google search or whatever, but even if they did not, I do feel that everybody needs to go back. And you need to be given this information because, you know, I'm all about community. We had this conversation all the time. You don't got to provide me no value. You don't got to jump through no hoops. If you got it and I have $12 and this $12, I'm buying it. I can gift this to somebody for a birthday or something like that. However, it is up to you as the business owner to seek out and find that information. This is the information age. You got Google. You can find anything. You can type in right now, free class on social media marketing, and you will get pages and pages and pages of information. And the same way those people may have to go through trial and error to find the right one and could cut down on your time by giving you the information, you may have to take 4 or 5 hours to dig and find it. Those people who give you the apple and don't give you the recipe, some people didn't even have the apple to start off with.
I didn't have the apple. I didn't even know I wanted to pie.
So everything that you know, that's the reason why you want to start the business center, right? Because you want to help people to you know, not go through everything that you had to go through. You want to cut down the processing time. But you had to do it, and you were able to do it. So I feel like you got to do your due diligence. Like the same way Crystal found all the information that she does and the way she, you know, goes to classes and the way she networks and the way we've built up what we're building up. We don't have the advantages like everybody else does. Our community just does not work that way. We just don't.
That's not fair. My nerves. Because if we all work together,
we have to be the change makers, and we have to be the ones. That's why I won't stop. Like I don't care. I get frustrated all the time. Y'all know.
That's why one of my aliases is Crystal the Connector, because my Google search is insane.
Yeah.
I promise you, my Google search is how do you, for example, when I just had the plumbing issue, how do you unstop a drain that's leading to the street? That was my Google search, right? When I get information, I immediately come back and I share it, because I know if I can't use it, I know there are a lot of people out there in my network, on my social media, who could use it. And people, you would be surprised. My inbox is crazy. Like I need to delete it, because people will message me, "Hey, I need to find a wholesaler for my business. Hey, I'm having trouble with Alibaba." And I'm like, okay, Alibaba is like 1 million people, and you need to streamline what it is that you're doing, and they need to find certain things. And because I do what I do, I am what I am, Popeye the Sailor Man, I give them the information, because it's a look here. It doesn't hurt me sharing this information with you. It doesn't hurt me at all sharing information at all.
And
sharing
honestly,
information.
every time you share, people won't even, like I said, there are people out there offering all kinds of stuff for free, and people still don't take advantage of it. We like tonight, we're giving away a whole laptop.
A whole laptop. You right?
Me? At least 10 people said they need a laptop for their business. A whole laptop. All I asked was $1, $1, or $12 for a year for a whole laptop. We didn't even get 100 people to pay $1. Miss Michelle said, I agree. People are out there offering information, helping. Right now, I'm getting seminary-like classes for free from networking, asking, connecting, etc. So I think it's about, you gotta, put in the muscle, the work. You gotta take some time and say, listen, how bad do you want it? I used to say that all the time in the group, because you hear people say all the time, I need to be more consistent. We can't help you be more consistent, sis. Like, we can give you some tips on how to, streamline some things. We can't show you how to be more consistent. That's in you. You got to say to yourself, right, I'm going to stay up 2 hours later to schedule my post. I'm going to get up 2 hours earlier to do my inventory. Like, that's within you. Like, we can't help you do that. So if you can't get on Google for 2 hours and search and comb through and make phone calls, then it's really no class or anything that's going to help you, because all they're going to do is do the same thing. And if you leave the class, and I know and I know people watching know, you can leave a class with ebooks and a list of 500 things to do, and people still won't do it. That's why people give so much stuff away free. You can give all your secrets away right now. People still won't do it. People will still book a call and ask you to do it because they don't want to do the work.
That's understandable.
Like, I could tell you right now, I could do a class on social media marketing and show you how to schedule all your posts, show you where to find the content, show you how to research keywords, show you all of that. And they still won't do it. Like, for free right now, they still won't do it. I've showed people how to drop ship t-shirts, like how you can do it for like less than $1.80. They still don't do it. They're still like, I need help with, like, so
can we say, so does that mean the trouble is not that we're not a community, it's the fact that we don't want to put the work in?
No, I think
both and all of it.
I think, I always take it all the way back. I think it's just about, I think it's the way we are and the way we've come up and the way we've grown up together is more about, out for self. We're not really like a community-based community.
But how are we not a community-based community after going back from what we've all been through? I mean, my dad and my mom are telling me stories about them literally in the field. Like, they're not even old.
I don't know. We're seeing more about survival. Survival for our own families. I think a few shows back, Crystal had hit on it when she was saying, like, people are more worried about, like, I'm more worried about my family eating than I am about the neighborhood eating. So I want to make sure that we eat in this house first, instead of, if we all work together and you get the water and I get the food and you get the clothes and you get the this, we can work together. People are focused on, I just got to make sure that me and mine are cool. That's kind of how, So I don't know. Like, that's what we're trying to do with Bestie, to try to figure out how we can bring community together. How I talk about group economics all the time. Like, I'm trying my hardest to get people to understand that just buy from the people. It'll stimulate our economy. We all these
It
people
shouldn't be
are
that hard.
1,400 plus. 1,400 plus. If it's like 1,500 people in a group, if all 1,500 y'all got just $1,400 one time, and all 1,500 of you guys would just buy one thing from each person in the group, that's stimulating the economy. And then you in turn take your 15 and 14 and go buy from somebody else. That's all you got to do. But
it's
you
not hard.
go buy the Gucci belt. No. You want to go buy, it's ridiculous.
I think, and then that goes back to business, because I feel like, and I'm not talking about businesses, people who have a salon, who have a service-based business. I'm talking about those of us who have a product-based business, that we are, one, lowballing ourselves when it comes to pricing.
Mm-hmm.
We're not adding in a tax, we're not adding in the shipping, we're not adding in the supplies. We're just adding in what we see other people charging for whatever product it is, and the tax that by law you have to put on there. But then once you take all that, and they don't know, let me not say they don't know. I don't believe that they are aware of how much profit they make from that one sale. They have that sale and, oh my God, I sold this sweatshirt for $50. Boom. And then they go spend $50.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, understanding that, okay, I know you got a sweatshirt. That sweatshirt had to cost you at least $20.
Mm-hmm.
Not if you're printing your logos on it or whatever, the paper, the film, or whatever you use to print it on it, screen printing, and then you had to ship it to me. Not even just ship it into me. I'm paying that shipping, but what about the shipping from the manufacturer that you got your sweatshirts from, and the box you put it in? So
Yeah,
I don't think, and I think that right there, is the missing point, where when it comes to group economics, that they're not seeing how it truly works, because they're not working it in their head.
Yeah, yes, I'm definitely lowballing. Must put the work in.
I definitely know that when I'm doing my pricing, when people ask, well, how are you pricing, or why are you pricing it this way? Because one, this bottle costs this much. Don't look at me in Alibaba. We're not the same. Don't look at me in Walmart. We're not the same. Don't look at me in a department store, because we're not the same. But I had to buy the bottle. I had to buy the product to put in the bottle. I have to shrink wrap it. I have to send it to you. I'm not even including the marketing and everything that goes on overall for it. Bigger companies can do it because can price it low because they have multiple places. It's just you want, and they aren't putting in calculations how much it costs for that product, not the product. Now, I'm not talking about service based, I'm talking about the product base. So when people say, oh, they sold out, or they're making all these sales, they're looking at the sales part, but they're not looking at their profit afterwards. And then they wonder why their business isn't making any money, or why they're not making any money, because they're spending it as soon as they get it.
And that she said, but when you price accordingly, people say you're too high.
Right. They're going to say you're too high. You know who else is high? A crackhead. You know who else is high? Gucci. You know who else is high? Target. But we seem to go into Target for one thing and still walk out spending $200.
Doesn't make
sense.
But
if the price is too high for that one person, then that one person is not your target market. Because if you are pricing accordingly, if you are pricing competitively with the same, because there's not a product out here that somebody else does not have. If you're not pricing competitively, then you are losing money.
I was a victim of that. I was pricing to sell, not pricing to grow my business. So I feel her on the. I was lowballing everything.
Right. If you're pricing to sell, you're always going to sell. If you're pricing to sell, that's all you're going to do is sell. You're not going to scale up. You're not going to make a profit, because you're just pricing to sell. You're just pricing to sell it. And then you might as well just have a yard sale.
Yeah, you gotta always start
for that too here, apparently.
Right. You
And
might
then
have
what's
said
high
it.
to one person may not be high to somebody else. Like somebody,
Right.
like people look at the price. We talk about value a lot, but perceived value is real. If you tell me that your shirt is $80, in my mind, the people who know you might be like, I'm not paying $80 for no t-shirt. But there are some people who will say, oh, okay, that must be a really good shirt. It must be a really good, head wrap or whatever for it to cost that amount of money. So when you're charging lower, sometimes people look at it and think that your product is cheap. Like, why is she only charging $20? That must be cheap. I don't want that.
And also think of it this way: if you're always low pricing, if you're pricing your products to sell at a lower market, at a lower end of this pricing scale, and you tend to and you raise your prices, people are not going to buy. It's like, no, this was always $20. Why is it now $25?
Mm-hmm.
You even see it in department stores. You even see it now. Gas was only $2.99. Now it's $3.05, but we need gas, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to pay it, So when and this will help a lot of people who are listening, who are tuning in, who want to share this information out. If you have a product-based business, take everything into account when you're doing your pricing. How much it costs you, how much the shipping costs you, how much your packaging costs you, and how much your time is. If you do all of those things, you will make a profit, and your business will work, and you'll start making money.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you like, people ask me all the time. I have people who will tell me they can only buy my skincare when I do a sale. Not a problem. One's coming up. And again, I had this conversation with Khadijah. As soon as I run that sale, I'm in here like Miss Steely packing boxes, because they took advantage. These are my shoppers who shop when I have a sale. I have very few who shop on my non-sale days, but as soon as I run a flash sale, as soon as I do my email marketing, I do a sale, and I know those are the customers who can afford my prices.
Mm-hmm. But then too, if you're, I don't know, I just feel like we have to stop being scared to put a price tag on what they're selling. Like they have chips that are $3.99. They have some that are 99 cents. You got to determine which one you want to be. It is what it is, and then stick with that. And then your people will find you. As long as you're giving out good work, good products, you're fine. I think it was a really good conversation, ladies. Make sure you go beautiful with 2 L's and grab some of her skincare.
It's women. What?
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's Women History Month, so you still get your 25% off. Use the code WOMEN, WOMEN. Women.
And then we have itscomplicated.com with the K. Make sure you go there and support those products.
Head wrap.
Yep. And we're doing a fundraiser. Well, we're always trying to raise money. We're trying to start a new program. I'll let Crystal tell you about that. But if you go to bestiesmerch.com, you can purchase a shirt, hoodie, some merch so that we can raise funds for our program. I'm doing a Pamper Chef party to try to get some funds for that too. So all that information is in the group. So make sure you support. And I'll let Crystal tell you about our fundraising program, and then she can wrap up.
Okay, our fundraising program is for IDEA. My son is autistic. He is nonverbal. He is 7. When I think of my son, I think of the life I want him to have when I'm no longer here to take care of him. So IDEA came about. IDEA stands for Intellectual Disability Employment Education Agency. With this business, we will help to train, educate, and also employ individuals who have an intellectual disability, those living with young adults living with autism, young adults who have Downs and mild MR. We will partner with other businesses, small businesses in the community, and also larger corporations to come in and also to train our young adults to work in their business. And I know that just seeing this work in other communities and other businesses that are doing it, that it does help, and it does give our young people who have an intellectual disability a fighting chance, and a meaningful life. So please donate. You can go to our website and you can click to donate there. If you know someone who can also help us in this mission, please send them there also. Have them reach out to us so we can connect and we can work together. Yes, and that's idea. I hope that this tonight has been very informative for you. If you need any help with your business, please reach out to us. Please schedule. We have consultations. You can take your consultation with myself, Crystal, or with Khadijah with the K. And what is that? You can go to bestiesbusiness.org to do all of that. And we appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. You will see us again next Saturday.
You will see us on Thursday. We have a new show.
Oh, Thursday.
Rajay, you want to tell them about our new show?
Yes, so we have a new show that's going to premiere called It Is What It Is, because that, a lot of people aren't telling, how it is. They're making up the stories and everything. So we're just going to come bring you some news about what's going on around, from different states, different countries, just so we're more aware of our surroundings and everything. So definitely look out for that. Again, It Is What It Is.
All right. Good night, guys. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.